Hi everyone, nice to be here. Thank you to Naventus for the invitation. And also super fun to see some of Sigrid's shareholders in the audience. My name is Alajmovic. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sigrid Therapeutics. We're a clinical stage, privately held health tech company developing the world's first medical device to lower the risk of getting type 2 diabetes. We often talk, when it comes to traffic accidents, that we should have a vision zero. No one should die or be severely hurt in traffic. And at Sigrid, a couple of years ago, we also launched the same vision zero. No one should fall sick or develop type 2 diabetes and its related diseases. Because obesity and type 2 diabetes are to a large extent actually preventable. So we shouldn't just settle to treating them, we should aim at preventing them. And this is what drives me and our team every day. However, the trend is pointing towards something completely different. Type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetes, the precursor stage to type 2 diabetes, obesity, high cholesterol levels, fatty liver disease, and so on, they are increasing. And today, these diseases are affecting billions of people. So, what have we at Sigrid done to combat this? Well, we spent the last 13 years developing unique platform technology that we called SciPore, that consists of cutting-edge material chemistry combined with unique insights into the mechanisms of obesity and type 2 diabetes. So we are world leaders in engineering biomaterials to induce metabolic and biological effects. Our first indication is targeting pre-diabetics. As I said, it's a precursor stage to type 2 diabetes. It means your blood sugar levels are higher than normal, but not yet high enough to be classified as type 2 diabetics. However, already at the pre-diabetic stage, you have increased risk of getting cardiovascular outcomes, obviously increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes, and a number of other diseases. So it's a serious medical state. And it's also unfortunately the case that already today we have 350 million people suffering from this condition. The pre-diabetes market is posed and set for growth. And in 2027, it will be around 2 billion euros in market size. This is only looking at US, Canada, UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. So we have not even included the whole of Asia and South America, where it's actually booming even further. And why is this increasing? Well, first of all, obesity is increasing. So pre-diabetes comes due to obesity to a large extent. But also that more and more healthcare states worldwide are starting to work preventatively, which means we are better at diagnosing pre-diabetics than we have ever done before. And this is driving the market for pre-diabetes. How do we currently treat it today? Well, I have some personal experience for this because I grew up with a father who was pre-diabetic, and unfortunately I saw him develop type 2 diabetes over a course of 7 years. So pre-diabetes is diagnosed in primary care. It's very easy to diagnose with a simple blood test. And what happens is that the physician tells you to go home, to eat healthier, and exercise more. Easy, right? Everyone can do it. However, 90% of people, they fail. And within 5 to 10 years, they develop full-blown type 2 diabetes, and that's when they're put on a number of drugs, starting with metformin, and eventually they end up with insulin injections. In rare instances, you give people metformin, off-label, since you're not allowed to subscribe metformin, which is a type 2 diabetes drug, to pre-diabetics. But in rare instances, you do it, and this is mostly in the States. Now, metformin, only in the pre-diabetic indication, has revenues of around $200 million. Even though the fact that it is poorly tolerated, up to 30% of people can't tolerate metformin due to very nasty side effects in forms of vomiting, gastric cramps in the stomach, and so on. Not to mention something else. environmental impact and sustainability. We're all talking about that. Patients and consumers alike, they don't want to be consuming something that has negative side effects on our environment. And this is exactly what metformin has. It comes out in its unmetabolized form, affecting our waters, aquatic life, and so on. So what have we developed? What's the solution of the future? Cypor 15 is what we call is our first product. It is made of pure silica, a natural mineral. It is safe for humans and is safe for the nature, and it is unique in its lowering of blood sugar levels as effectively as metformin. So Cypor 15 has more than 13 years of research and development. It is actually a uniquely shaped biomaterial, which comes in the form of a white powder. You can mix it in a glass of water, or you could sprinkle it over your food. And you take it together with the meal. And it reduces your blood sugar and your lipid levels very effectively and very safely, because it only works inside your gut. Unlike metformin, it doesn't go into your bloodstream, it works locally. Initial studies with our product have shown that it reduces HbA1c, which is the golden biomarker for diagnosis of type 2 diabetes and management of type 2 diabetes, with 1.4 millimole per mole. Metformin does around 0.6 millimole per mole in the same patient population. So we always say that it is as safe as a supplement with the potency of a drug. How does it work? So unlike many other life science companies, we actually have nailed our mode of action. We know exactly how Cypor 15 works. Once you consume a meal, you will see that Cypor, the powder, mixes in your stomach with intestinal juices and with the food content. And when you eat fatty food or carbohydrate-rich food, your body releases enzymes, amylase and lipase. They're like scissors. So they're basically cutting down these complex carbohydrates into smaller constituents, which can be absorbed into your body. Cypor 15, through its unique porosity and surface chemistry, entraps, like a sponge, these enzymes and creates a physical barrier, preventing the food from being broken down. And actually, it leaves the body naturally through the feces. So we are basically flattening the curve, just like we do these days in Corona times, flattening the blood sugar curve and the lipid peaks. And if you consumed our product over a sustainable period of time, you will also see benefits when it comes to reduced body weight. What have we done since the company's founding? The company was founded by myself. I'm an economist. I graduated from Stockholm School of Economics. I've worked in venture capital, in life science, small companies, as well as larger ones. Together with the professor in physiology, Tore Bengtsson, he spent the last 20, 30 years of his life understanding the mechanisms of obesity and type 2 diabetes. And since we use silica as our main component, we were able very fast to do a first-in-man trial to show that the unique physical chemistry of our product doesn't affect tolerability or doesn't have any side effects such as diarrhea or constipation or any vitamin malabsorption. So very successful first-in-man. We also already there saw some very good benefits on both body weight and lipid levels, as well as blood sugar. We have progressed to have approved patents in both Australia and Japan, and in 2019 we got patents in Canada and Israel. In 2020 we got a granted patent in US, and in 2021 we also announced a deal for large-scale production with the world-class silica producer. And I forgot to mention 2019, we did a proof of concept study as well called STAR, where we actually tested the product in pre-diabetics and newly diagnosed type 2 diabetics, and we showed that it worked as intended. It reduced long-term blood sugar, HbA1c. So what's happening ahead for Sigrid Therapeutics? We are doing our next study, which will be our third clinical study. It's a pivotal registration trial for this product as a medical device here in Europe. This is the last study we need for device approval in Europe. However, in US, this would be registered as a food supplement, which means that we are already now in discussions with the FDA for food supplement adherence, and we are currently looking into launching the product already next year as a food supplement for the US market. In 2023, we expect to get our CE mark approval and launch the product together through distributors or partners for an initial date of 2024. I would also like to say that we are fully funded to achieve all of these milestones ahead. The next clinical study, SHINE, Cy-POR-15 halts intermediate hyperglycemia, a technical term for blood sugar, is a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled multi-center trial. It's enrolling 440 pre-diabetics and early diagnosed type 2 diabetics. It's actually one of the largest commercial pre-diabetes trial that's ever been done. And we already have a CRO selected. It's a German CRO called Analyze and Realize. They're specializing in medical devices and more natural remedies such as our product. It will be conducted in Germany, in Hungary and Slovakia. And we are targeting once and again overweight and obese subjects which have prediabetes or newly diagnosed type 2 diabetes. And our primary endpoint is to show once and again, like we've done in 2 previous studies, that we can reduce long-term blood sugar, HbA1c, effectively. And obviously we will be looking at secondary endpoints such as cholesterol, such as body weight, and gut microbiota, which we have preliminary data on that this is beneficial for as well. I would like to just present one case example of a deal that has been done within this space, just to show you the appetite for this type of assets that Cy-POR-15 is. And this is coming not only from the traditional consumer healthcare companies, but it's also coming from the food companies, because the food companies have been blamed, so to say, for creating this global epidemics of obesity and type 2 diabetes. So they are looking now to reposition themselves and are looking for assets such as ours. So this is a company called Valbiotis. It's a food supplement company. It's listed on the Paris Stock Exchange. It does a blueberry extract in the form of a capsule. They have preliminary data where they've shown that they can reduce fasting plasma glucose in 51 patients. However, that reduction failed to translate to any meaningful reduction in HbA1c. This is a food supplement, and 2 years ago, they inked a deal with Nestlé Health Sciences for around 70 million euros, comprising of both upfront payments, sales and milestone development payments, and as well as royalties on net sales. So basically, Nestlé is financing their last trial now, and will also be selling this and commercializing their product if it passes through all regulatory hurdles. So we are doing an even larger trial. And we are a medical device in Europe, which means we can make claims that Valbiotis cannot make. And we are pretty confident that we will be able to secure an even better deal than this once we have completed our SHINE study for the European market. I've already mentioned a bit about myself. I'm an economist by training, very passionate about health, and I have a team today that consists, that are very multidisciplinary, with strengths in physiology, material chemistry, clinical development, regulatory expertise. And we're supported by a stellar board of directors, which are seasoned pharma executives and entrepreneurs as well. And all of them are actually shareholders in Sigrid. So they're very, very passionate about seeing this product being reaching the market. On the scientific side, we have a scientific advisory board consisting of world leaders in obesity and type 2 diabetes. We can take Jan Lundberg here. He helped bring to market Boehringer Ingelheim's and Eli Lilly's drug for type 2 diabetics. They are the ones helping us write our protocol for the SHINE study, and will be critical once we start approaching KOLs and nearing the market. With this, I would like to thank you all for your attention, And we are very passionate at Sigrid and very excited about the future because we really believe that our technology has the potential to impact millions of people worldwide and prevent them from developing chronic diseases. Thank you.
Thank you very much. When you spoke about pre-diabetics, you mentioned that they were sent home from the doctor. 90% of them failed because they couldn't. They couldn't change their lifestyle habits. And of course, this brings us back to body weight, which is key in this medical condition. And you also mentioned that taking your product decreases body weight. And if I'm interested to compare. How about metformin? That's sort of the standard drug now. Does that affect body weight as in any references to your drug?
Yes, I mean it's very individual, but you know, if you're puking a lot and vomiting, you're getting a lot of things out. So, but metformin is not used as a weight loss drug. So it's not prescribed for that indication.
So there's quite a big distinction between.
Yes, I would say so. And you know, we are doing something completely different. We are attacking this disease from a consumer healthcare perspective, not a pharmaceutical perspective. And we think that's the future. As consumers and patients also, they want to take something natural. They want to take something that's very gentle on your system. They don't want to be messing with drugs, if it's possible.
You mentioned natural. You mentioned sustainability. The silica, where does it come from?
The silica, we engineer it and we make it ourselves. Well, actually, if it's possible, I wanted to show you a slide here.
I think that's sort of out of the picture.
Yes, okay. So earlier this year, we inked an agreement with AGC Chemicals, one of Japan's largest silica, well, actually one of the world's largest silica producers. We've been working the last 2 to 3 years with process development and scaling up our process of producing the silica, and we now have a partner that's going to be able to do this for us at ton scale to very favorable cost of goods and to food grade quality that's needed for our product.
This will be in Japan?
This will be in Japan, yeah.
Well, best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Fascinating project and not drug really. What do you call it?
Well, a medical device in Europe. Yeah.
Medical device. Thank you so much.